Hi guys, here's the setup. Visit any grocery store wine aisle or stop by a wine store and you're guaranteed to see that most every wine bottle has some sort of a covering, a foil, a capsule, there's something covering up the cork. But they are no longer needed and all those producers, they should stop using them. Today we're continuing our discussion of sustainability here at the Lost Sierra Wine Company. We're going to talk all about foils, why we don't use them, and why they're not good for the environment. So let's get to it. So first up, I've been using the term foil and capsule interchangeably. We'll continue to do that. They're effectively the same thing. So with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the history of foils. Before foils, the bottles were dipped in wax. That was to make them airtight, one. Two, to prevent rodents and insects from getting past the cork and contaminating the wine, of course. And three, it was also a way for the producer to mark its bottle and to protect against counterfeiting. So let's fast forward to 1833. That was the year that foils, as we know them today, were invented by a guy named André Georges Dupré in France. And they were created to replace wax and make it a bit easier to get into the bottle, but they were essentially served the same purpose. They kept rodents out of the bottle. They didn't do anything for air tightness, but they also were a mark to distinguish various producers, especially when you laid your bottle down sideways in a cellar and all you could see was the top of the bottle. Having some sort of marking there was very helpful to know what bottle was from which producer. So fast forward from 1833 to 1996. Why 1996? That was the year that the FDA outlawed the use of lead in the food industry. Lead was a common ingredient in foil capsules, and the wine industry had continued to use lead in its capsules until 1996 when it was outlawed. Thank you, FDA. We appreciate that. So where are we today? There are four main types of capsules used in the industry today. First is tin, very recyclable. The second is aluminum, also very recyclable. The third is polylaminate, which is a lamination of aluminum, polyethylene, and aluminum together, not recyclable. And the last is polyvinyl chloride, or PVC. Think of the white irrigation pipe that you find at Home Depot. Definitely not recyclable. I think most people assume that capsules, because they're recyclable, are made from aluminum. In fact, tin is the most common metal used in the production of capsules. Tin is mined from the earth. It comes from countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Bolivia, and Nigeria. Those are the four main countries that source or that mine tin. While it's good for the economy of those countries, for sure, to export tin, there are some concerns. Some of these countries that I just mentioned, as well as the mine operators themselves, don't necessarily have the greatest track record of taking care of the environment, nor the people that work in the mine. You can do a Google search on tin mining if you'd like to learn more about this. Like aluminum, tin is also very recyclable. However, there aren't that many cities in the US that actually specifically separate out tin for recycling. So what happens is you put that bottle into your recycling bin that still has a tin foil on it. The bottle goes off to the glass recycler, they crush the bottle, and they separate out the tin. They're a glass recycler, not a tin recycler. Often that tin gets thrown away and ends up in the landfill. So what do you do about this? The right way to do it, before you take your wine bottle and throw it in the recycling bin, you should strip off that tin foil and also throw it in the recycling bin, but they need to be separated. Otherwise, you're not exactly sure what's going to happen with that highly recyclable tin. As I mentioned, aluminum is also used in the production of capsules, and obviously aluminum is very recyclable as well. It should have the same treatment as a tin capsule, so when you go to recycle your bottle, you should be pulling off of that aluminum capsule and separating it from the wine bottle before it goes into the recycling bin. Aluminum, is also like tin, is mined from the earth. Now, the mining industry for aluminum is a much, much bigger industry globally than tin is. And the transparency of the aluminum mining industry is better than tin, but it's still not perfect. And so if you want to learn more about where your aluminum comes from, again, you can check Google for aluminum mining. and learn a lot more if you choose to. Polylaminate and PVC both have environmental and health concerns associated with them, and to me it seems obvious why they don't make a great choice for wine capsules, so I'm not going to give them any more discussion here. So to wrap up, it should seem fairly obvious why here at the Lost Sierra Wine Company we've chosen not to use foils at all. They're just not needed from a practical standpoint. The environmental, social, and health risks associated with them make it such that there is just not a good choice. Here at the Lost Sierra Wine Company, we decided from day one not to use foils on our bottle for the reasons that we've just talked about. If anyone has any care for the environment, the people that do the mining work, and their health, choosing a bottle with a foil on it just doesn't make sense to me. And practically speaking, there's just no reason to use a foil to cover the cork anymore. But tradition and consumer expectation are hard to overcome. Well, that's it. We've covered a lot of material in a short amount of time here. Hopefully you've learned a few things, and I've given you some things to think about next time you go down the wine aisle and look at those bottles. We've made our choice. I invite you to make yours. If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Cheers!